Moving along to the next video now in our References 101 section. Now what we're going to look at is the reference panel on the AutoCAD ribbon. It's quite important that you know what all of those buttons do on the ribbon so that you can work with your references effectively in AutoCAD. Now, as before, I've got Reference Panel Complete open. If you want to follow along with the video, you need referencepanel.dwg. And also be aware that you've got your XREF drawings in the same folder as these drawings. So our references are loaded up. There's one there. There's the topography, XREF there. And if I hit escape now and zoom in close, you can see that we've got our footprint as well. So these are both XREFs that are loaded in and placed in our current AutoCAD drawing. So I'm going to hit escape there. Just double click on the wheel to zoom extents again. To find your reference panel, it's on the Insert tab on the AutoCAD ribbon. And it's right here, Reference. Now, it's got a little flyout indicating that there are more commands on the flyout menu. I'm just going to click on the little pin there to pin those open for the moment. Now, there's lots of different settings here on the panel itself. You've got Attach. Now, Attach is self-explanatory. If I click on Attach, that'll open up a dialog box, allowing me to select a reference file that I want to attach to my current drawing. So I could select, let's say, for example, topography. There's the preview. I would click on open. I would then get the dialog box prompting me with all the details on how to attach an XREF. Now we're going to cover that as we work through this section, so I'll just cancel that one for the moment. We can also clip. Now what this allows me to do is clip a block or an XREF or a viewport to a specified boundary. Now what I would do there is I would probably just draw something like a polyline or some sort of shape, and then I would clip the viewport to that shape. Now again, I'm going to cover that as we work through this section in more detail. Adjust. This allows me to adjust the fade, contrast and brightness and the monochrome settings of an image or an underlay. Now we haven't actually got an image or an underlay in our drawing right now. We're going to look at underlays later, and as you can see, they can be a DWF, a DWFX, a PDF, or a DGN. A DGN is a microstation drawing. PDF we know, DWF are the Autodesk equivalents of PDFs. So what you can do there is perhaps bring in an aerial photograph that shows the topography of this particular area, and then you can place that underneath your building so that you can actually physically see what's going on. So that allows you to adjust your settings of your image or underlay underneath your drawing. You've got underlay layers. You can actually give an underlay layers, especially in things like a PDF. Frames vary. Now these are the settings for the frames varying. So if I click on that, I can hide frames, I can display and plot frames, or I can display but don't plot the frames. So you can see there that I can do any of those using my XREFs or my underlays. Notice there when I click on that, can you see that the flyout menu automatically switched itself off and unpinned itself? I can also snap to underlays. If there's any information on an underlay that I can snap to, you can see there, snap to underlays off, snap to underlays on, or it can vary. And again, these are all settings that you would use when you're using XREFs or underlays in your drawing. Now you can see there, it's asking me to select an image or an underlay. I can't because there isn't one, so I'll just hit escape there for now. Now there's two more on the flyout menu. XREFs are always faded by a default of 50%. So if I move this slider bar along to there, they will obviously get more ingrained, if you see what I mean, in the drawing. So if I go this way and increase the fading, make it bigger, or I just double click there and type in a value of say 75 and press enter, can you see how much more faded and less ingrained they are in the drawing? So that's what you can do there. You can change that by moving the slider bar. Now the default value in there is always 50%, and they're always slightly faded compared to the detail in the drawing. You can't really see it there, but if I zoom in closer, can you see that that is slightly more faded than that, for example? And you can see that it's just that little bit more faded so that you can distinguish the detail on top of the XREFs in the drawing. And there's one more there, Edit Reference. So if I click on that now, it'll prompt me to select a reference. So if I click on that reference there, it allows me to go into the drawing in situ and do a reference edit. And again, we'll cover all of this as we work through References 101. So I'll just cancel that for the moment. So that is your reference panel in your ribbon in AutoCAD. Now there's one more button that I haven't clicked on yet, and it's this one here. If I click on this, it purely opens up the external references palette in the same way as the little XREF icon down here on the status bar does. So there's two ways of getting to your external references palette. So that's your reference panel in the ribbon in AutoCAD. Let's work through those commands now and develop our XREFs, edit our XREFs as we go along.